Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are doing great today. Today we're talking about something that I've actually never talked about on my channel before, which at this point it's kind of surprising because I feel like I've talked about a lot of things, but we are talking about the not the whiteboard challenge. We are talking about the UX take-home assignment, the take-home challenge, the UX homework. That's what we're talking about today. I actually have a lot of thoughts about this, so we're just gonna jump right in. Okay, first off, what is the take-home assignment, the take-home challenge? What is that? So that is when you are applying for a job, a task that's given to you by the hiring manager, the UX manager, whoever's running the interview process, and it's an assignment that you have to complete, a design problem that you have to complete and run the design process through in a way. You have to create a design solution. They'll give you a prompt and then you have to create a solution to that. So it's almost similar to maybe like a problem that you'd have through like a boot camp. That's in a nutshell a UX take-home assignment is. I'm actually going to show you guys some examples of UX take-home assignments that I was given. I will blur out everything that I need to blur out, but I will show you guys like what the format is that you'll probably receive. I hope this Google Doc is still alive. They didn't update this at all. This one was a little bit simpler. This one is where they wanted me to design just the mobile version of a dashboard. So they gave me what an existing dashboard looks like and then how would I adapt it for mobile, the changes that I would make, or anything I change to the dashboard as well. These are the kind of things that they wanted me to do. And I will show you guys what I came up with. I'm laughing because I have not looked at this in so long, guys. Okay, so I sent over some sketches. I sent over my low fidelity wireframes and then the final dashboard view. Very simple, like not a whole lot to it, but this is just to show you an example of what I mean and what I've created. Funny enough, guys, I did get a job offer from this place. I do not work there. I do not work at this place. That is a story for another time, and I don't know if I should even put it on the internet, but yeah. Now that you've seen some examples, I wanted to give you guys some quick tips as you're doing these, and then we'll go into the pros and cons. First thing, save yourself some time and use patterns and libraries wherever you can. Also, like this, the one that I showed you was a mobile app. Use other mobile apps for inspiration. So, a resource that I highly recommend is MOBBIN. MOBBIN is like the one-stop shop for inspiration, UI screens, everything you need. I prefer to use MOBBIN over like Behance and Dribble just because a lot of the Behance and Dribble stuff is people's personal projects. So you can't really compare it against like an industry standard necessarily. And not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but this is something that's gone through user testing. This is something that has the right formatting. So let me show you guys. So this is the home page, and in that example, we were doing an app, okay? So you can come here and let's say kind of sort by category. One of the assignments that I had was targeted around a financial dashboard. So we're gonna go into the finance category and see what we can find here. Oh my gosh, Mint, such a good one. And what I like, one of the great things that I like about MOBBIN is that you don't have to create an account for all these things. Like for Mint, you have to, you know, put in your banking information. And that's like, if I just want to see like the UI screen and see how things are laid out, this is exactly what I need. We see here, like this is how they show some like data visualization charts, different things, maybe things in your wallet, your different transactions. So that's just one example for finance. Like let's go back and look at lifestyle. Let's look at Bumble, why not? Okay, and this, it shows you like the exact screens that Bumble has. They update this all of the time. There's over, I think, 100,000 screenshots for web and mobile. We have onboarding flows, and something I think is really cool, especially if you're still kind of new and you're trying to understand the different like UI terms. Explore the UI and UX dictionary. So you click that, and you can see like, what is it that you're trying to design? Are you trying to just do a launch screen? Here you go. You'll even type in button. There's going to be different kinds of buttons. There's like kind of your standard button. What you're thinking of like an action button. There's a floating action button. There's checkbox and radio buttons. Like what exactly are you looking for? You can also search that in here. So to wrap that up, This is an amazing resource that's going to save you a ton of time, guys. And I'll get into it in my pros and cons. When it comes to take-home assignments, you want to do a good job, but you also want to be cognizant of the time that you spend. So I highly recommend MOBBIN. This is not sponsored by them. I just have a link down in my description. I use this myself, guys. At least once a week I'm on here. So I highly recommend it. There is a free version, but honestly, guys, and I would just pay for the full version, because if you are going to be a UX UI designer for the foreseeable future, this is something that you definitely want to invest in. So check out the link down below. Okay, next tips, and I'm going to kind of go through these quickly because I don't want this video to be forever. As you guys saw the prompt, there's not a ton in there. There's not like, user research and customer interviews. Like, there's none of that. So try to keep a user in mind. So you probably need to create a persona and have somebody in mind that you're designing for, and feel free to include that in your assignment. Follow the design process as best as you can. List out your tasks, your goals, user pain points, sketches, wireframes, all of that. Document all of that, because this is kind of what they're looking for. So make sure you have all of that included. Next thing is watermark everything. Okay, you are sending them work that you are creating. Put your watermark on it. Put any watermark on it. Okay, just make sure to do that. And do not send them the Figma file if you can avoid it. They probably just want a PDF. They don't need the actual file. So just images, PDFs, whatever. Don't send them the Figma file, because just don't do it. You never know. UX take-home assignments are a contentious subject, guys. They are a hot button topic, and I see why, and I understand why, and I feel like I kind of lean one way more than the other. So let's talk about it. One of the pros is that it really could save you a lot of time. If for some reason your skills are not what they're looking for, or it's not up to par, or they just want something a little bit different, a take-home assignment could be a great way to not get led on 4 or 5 steps down the road. I'd rather have a take-home assignment that like knocks me out of the running earlier on than take me all the way to the final interview and be like, actually, you're not really what we need. You know what I mean? So it's good in that sense, because you get a little bit of an earlier check, I guess, of your skills early on, versus getting like, all the way down the road, and it really sucks then. You can also get a sense of the types of projects you might be working on with them, in terms of like what they're looking for, their design process, the way that they solutions. You kind of get a little bit of a sneak peek into a potential job. So that's pretty cool. Guys, I thought I had way more pros, but I don't. I only had those 2. I mean, they're sometimes kind of fun. Not really. Let's talk about the cons. There's quite a few of these. Okay, first thing in my mind, this is what your portfolio is for. And that's something that I can never really wrap my head around. I get it. You want to maybe assess like if they're still this designer that they were in their portfolio maybe, but honestly, I feel like your portfolio speaks way more than taking an assignment that you spend 3 days to a week on, maybe under time crunch with little information. Like, that's just not realistic to the design process and the job you'll be doing. So that's why I'm like, I don't really know about that. That goes hand in hand with that. It's not the most well-rounded view of a candidate. You put somebody under pressure like that, you get to see how they collaborate with others, and that's a huge part of this job. So that's also a tough way to assess somebody. You don't get to see the iterations that they had. You might be able to include that in your take-home assignment, but they're probably not going to be going through pages of that. There's just so much conversation that happens in this job that it's just not the best representatives of somebody. Another thing, guys, this is a lot of work. It can be. They say to give yourself a time limit, which I totally think you should. But do we follow the time limits? We always want to make it extra perfect because you want to get the job. So I think, imagine like, okay, let's say you have 3 jobs that you're in the running for, and all 3 have a take-home assignment, and they each say, take a week to do it. You're going to take 40+ hours each to like get this done. Like, that can really build up a lot. And it's also not the most equal of playing field, because some people have more time than others. Like, you don't know what people have going on behind the scenes. So require somebody to take a week's worth of their personal time really to complete a take-home assignment is fine when you think about it in one case, but if you add multiple to it, it can become a lot. You're not compensated for any of this. That's why, guys, I was like, make sure you watermark your stuff. Don't send the files, because not that I think these companies are trying to, steal work or anything or be shady, but you're not getting compensated. So keep that in mind. So make sure the take-home assignment is not exactly what they do. Like, let's say you're applying for a job at Duolingo, and the take-home assignment is to like add a filter for a language learning app that you think might be beneficial to our users. I don't think that'd actually be assignment, but that's literally somebody's Q2 roadmap item. Like, what? You're not doing that. So just beware of those kinds of things, guys. I do feel like take-home assignments are becoming a lot less common. I would say hiring processes that I was pretty far along in, I would say a third of them had a take-home assignment. I did 3 take-home assignments, and that was probably out of like, again, like 9 jobs that I was pretty far down the path to. So they're not that common, but if they are, please think about this before you decide to even do the assignment. Is this place worth it? Think about these things before you commit your precious, precious time to it. Just do your best. Take these tips to heart. Don't forget to check out MOBBIN down in the description box. Trust me, I use it. You're going to want it. You're going to want it. That's the thing. It's like outside of job hunting, you're going to want it. So just do it. If you guys want more interview tips in the hiring process, check out this video here that I made about the whole UX interview process and how to get hired. And with that, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.